We're now going to look at merging data into our model. So where this can be useful is if you want to combine geometry or perhaps loads from multiple TEL files into one, merging is definitely going to be useful for that application. You can also control the insertion point, which is important if you do have geometry coming in from two different models. So it will save you work when having the two models in one place. And the goal here is that it's going to save you time and effort from having to create the model from scratch if you already have components of the model already assembled and you just need to push them together. Another thing that a lot of our users like to use in terms of load cases and combinations is if you have a template load case or combination that SRAM doesn't currently automate for you, you can save that in a TEL file without any other geometry. Just save all the load cases and combinations and then merge it into any existing load case or model rather, and you won't have to create it every single time. You just create it once and then merge it into all subsequent models, and all your load cases and combinations will be there for you. So we're going to take a look at this process using the model that we see here. This is just two columns. These two columns are spaced a fair distance apart, so let's just look a little bit closer. This column is 10 meters high, and the two columns are 27 meters away from one another. And I'm actually going to drop in a truss in between these two columns. But to make sure I know where the truss is going to land once it gets in here, I just want to investigate that truss model a little bit more as well. So let me just open that up. And this is a truss model that I'll be looking at. One thing that we want to take in right away is that we want to know where the user coordinate system or the coordinate system origin is of our particular model that we're merging in. In this case here, we can see this is the coordinate system origin, right at the point, right below the top of this, or the bottom of this top chord here. So if I just left click on this joint right at the top chord, I can see that the coordinate is 1 meter above this user coordinate system origin. And that's going to come in handy because I want to be able to match the two coordinate system origins in my models that I'm merging in order to make sure that I don't have to move things once I get them into the same file. So knowing that this coordinate system origin is 1 meter below the level of the top chord where it's going to be resting on top of my columns will definitely come in handy. So let me go back into that other model for a second. And now I have this model back open, and I'm actually just going to move a user coordinate system to the top of the left-hand side column here. Using the UCS tool, I'm just going to drop it right at this point here. And then I'm actually going to move it down just 1 meter. The reason being is that I want this user coordinate system origin to match the origin of my truss model. So if I right click on this point or this UCS tool here, I'm just going to drop the origin down in the Z axis 1 meter. And I'm going to save it. So you notice here it's just 1 meter below this joint. I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it merging UCS. And at this stage, I can go to File and then use the Merge tool here. It's going to ask me to save, so I'll make sure I save this because I added that new UCS. And the first thing I want to do before I make any other changes, I want to select my user coordinate system. I'm going to use the merging UCS, which is right here. And then I want to select the TEL file that I want to merge into this model, which is this one right here. So roof truss complete CISC05. And we can see where that lines up now. We can also get a report of all the details. We can choose if we want to overwrite duplicate objects, merge geometry, and merge loads. I can look at the report here, and I can get a better understanding for what's been imported. It's giving me, first of all, a look at the pre-import and post-import models. And I can find some additional details on that, including the joint data, material property data, anything that might have been merged in that wasn't originally in the model beforehand. I'm just going to press OK. And now we can see here that the two models now exist within the same file. And I can even see that it's brought in some of the load cases from my other model as well. So it saves me a lot of time and effort from having to define these manually every time I create something that I've already had done in another file. I can actually just bring it in using the merge command.